The night I found the alien girl, I thought I was saving her life. I didn't know she was the one who'd decide whether humanity deserved to keep theirs. The night hit the city like a grudge. Rain hammered the metal decks of Virella Quay, thunder chewing through the sky as if it wanted to tear the floating city apart. Ryland Creed moved along the trembling catwalks, hood up, boots slick with salt water. He'd seen storms like this before, but never one that felt personal. Ryland used to save people for a living. Rescue diver, frontier engineer, whatever job kept him from thinking about the ones he couldn't save. These days, he fixed things no one else wanted to touch. Engines, gates, broken generators, broken lives. He stopped to check a loose anchor bolt when something clattered under the dock. Light, sharp, like metal hitting metal. He frowned, not the sound of machinery, the sound of panic. Ryland crouched, flashlight cutting through the sheets of rain. Under a sagging tarp lay a small figure, pale blue skin, drenched, trembling. The child flinched from the light, clutching a shattered metal ring that pulsed faintly with blue energy. Eyes wide, breathing too fast. "Easy," Ryland said quietly. "I'm not here to hurt you." She didn't answer, but her voice broke through a tiny speaker embedded in the ring, glitched, mechanical. "Don't let them. Take me back." Something in his chest locked up. He'd heard that kind of fear before, years ago in a sinking ship full of soldiers who never made it home. He glanced around. No patrols, no witnesses. He could walk away. Should walk away. Instead, he took off his jacket, wrapped it around her, and lifted her into his arms. The moment her head rested against his shoulder, the ring flickered. His name glowed across the holographic display. Ryland Creed. He froze. He'd never seen that tech before. How did it know his name? No time to think. The storm was worsening, and the girl was shaking uncontrollably. He carried her through the downpour, back to his workshop, a cluttered sanctuary of steel, warmth, and broken things that still worked. As he set her down near the furnace, her breathing slowed. The ring dimmed, and for a heartbeat, before her eyes closed, they flashed. Not blue, but gold. Outside, a red scanner light swept past the window. Someone else was searching the docks tonight. Ryland had no idea yet. But by saving her, he just declared war on whoever was hunting. Ryland woke to the sound of knocking. 3 slow, deliberate raps, the kind that didn't belong to a neighbor. The storm outside hadn't ended. It had only learned patience. Lightning crawled across the sky like a warning. Ryland checked the sleeping girl on his workbench, still breathing, still clutching the broken ring. Another knock. Louder this time. He opened the door halfway, wrench in hand. 2 women stood in the rain, not soaked, steaming, as if the downpour couldn't touch them. The first had sharp green eyes and a stance that screamed soldier. The second's gaze was softer, like moonlight reflected on water. Both shared the same faint glow under their skin, the same blue hue as the child. Ryland's first thought was, they're beautiful. His second was, their trouble. Ryland Creed? The tall one asked, voice steady. He didn't confirm. Depends who's asking. She glanced past him and saw the girl. The air changed. Her name is Nira, she said. We're here for her? The softer woman stepped forward, hands raised. Please, she's sick. She's not safe without us. Ryland kept the door halfway closed. She said not to let anyone take her back. I'm not great at ignoring terrified kids. The 2 women exchanged a look, part guilt, part fear. The taller one finally said, Then she's already told you more than we expected. Lightning flared. In that brief flash, Ryland saw something metallic on their wrists, insignias burned into flesh. Military marks, alien or not. You're soldiers, he said once, the calm one admitted. Now we're fugitives. And that child isn't what you think she is. Ryland crossed his arms. She's a lost kid in my house. That's all I need to know. The soldier's jaw tightened. She carries something inside her, technology that reads memory. Your memory. That ring recognized your name because she touched your mind. Ryland looked back at Nira, sleeping beneath his jacket, faint golden light pulsing under her skin. For a moment, silence filled the room, the heavy kind before lives change. Then the soldier said quietly, If you keep her, they'll come for you too. Ryland exhaled through his teeth. Yeah, he muttered. They usually do. Morning broke like a bruise, grey light bleeding across the docks. The storm had passed, but the air still carried the taste of metal and fear. Rylan hadn't slept. He sat beside the furnace, watching Nira breathe beneath a blanket that looked far too big for her. Across the room, the two alien women whispered to each other in a language that rolled like waves. He didn't understand the words, but he recognized the tone, worry mixed with guilt. He'd spoken that language himself once, after losing his team. The taller woman finally approached. "I'm Kaelra," she said flatly. "And this is Lisanne. We didn't mean to involve you." Rylan sipped cold coffee. "You knocked on my door." "I'd say I'm plenty involved." Lisanne hesitated. "They'll scan the district by noon. Registry ships are looking for her." Rylan raised an eyebrow. "Registry? You mean the kind that helps people disappear?" Kaelra's expression didn't change, but her silence confirmed it. He stood, stretching sore muscles. "Then we hide her." "I've got space under the floor," Kaelra blinked. "You trust us that easily?" Rylan gave a half smile. "Trust? No, I just hate bullies more than strangers." For a brief moment, even Kaelra's hardened features softened. They worked in silence, lifting panels, sealing compartments. Nira stirred once, whispering something half-coherent in her sleep. The broken ring on her wrist pulsed, and for an instant, Rylan heard a voice, not hers but his own, echoing from somewhere inside the device. "Hold the line! Don't let them drown!" He jerked back, heart racing. The words were from a rescue mission years ago, one that ended in fire. Lisanne saw his face. "You heard it too, didn't you?" she asked gently. Rylan nodded, shaken. "That thing, she's carrying memories, mine." Before they could speak further, the walls shuddered. Engines overhead. "Patrol ships." Kaelra grabbed her weapon. Lisanne froze. Rylan moved first, shutting the lights and signaling them to stay quiet. Through the window, a red scanner beam swept across the room. It paused. Rylan whispered, "If they knock, don't breathe." The beam lingered and then faded. Silence. Lisanne exhaled shakily. "You really hate bullies," she whispered. Rylan smirked faintly. "Told you." Outside, engines roared again. The hunt had begun. The sun didn't rise so much as struggle through the fog. Rylan leaned against the doorframe, staring at the quiet street below. The patrol ships were gone, but their echo still hummed in his chest. Behind him, Kaelra paced like a caged soldier. Lisanne sat beside Nira, stroking the girl's hair while whispering in their language, a soft rhythm, almost like a prayer. Rylan's workshop smelled of oil, wet metal, and warm bread from the small oven he'd fired up. The air should have felt safe. It didn't. He poured 3 mugs of coffee and placed them on the table. "If someone's chasing you," he said, "I need to know who." Kaelra's eyes flicked up. "You wouldn't believe me." "Try me," Rylan said. She hesitated, then dropped the truth like a blade. "We built her." The words hit him harder than he expected. "You what?" Lisanne's voice trembled. "Not in the way you think. She's our child, yes, but also a creation, a bridge between species. She was designed to feel across minds, to help end the war before it began." Rylan stared at Nira. "A living weapon built to feel? That's not peacekeeping. That's insanity." Kaelra's jaw tightened. "You think I don't know that? They used her, used us. When she started showing emotions they couldn't control, they called her defective." Rylan's anger flared. "So you ran," Kaelra nodded once. "But she carries fragments of everyone she touches. Soldiers, scientists. That's why they want her back." Lisanne looked up, eyes glistening. "If they capture her, they'll erase her and start again." Rylan turned toward the window. Outside, faint shadows moved along the upper deck, too steady to be civilians. "Then we're out of time," he said quietly. Kaelra checked her weapon. "We can fight." Rylan shook his head. "You can run. I'll stall them." Lisanne grabbed his wrist. "You'll die." He met her gaze, calm but firm. "Maybe, but if that kid survives, then it's worth it." A crash split the air. Glass shattered. A flash grenade rolled across the floor. Nira screamed, and the walls rippled with golden light. For one impossible second, Rylan saw his own memories swirl through the room. Fire, water, loss, all reflected in the child's eyes. And then everything went white. Silence came first. Then the ringing in Ryland's ears. He blinked through smoke and scattered light. The workshop was half-wrecked. Tools lay scattered like fallen soldiers. Kaelra was on one knee, weapon drawn, scanning the broken window. Lisanne clutched Nira against her chest, the child trembling but alive. The golden glow around her skin faded, leaving faint streaks of light curling into the air like dust. Ryland pushed himself up. "Everyone okay?" Nira looked at him, eyes wet and bright. "They're gone," she whispered. Kaelra frowned. "Gone?" Lisanne turned slowly toward the doorway. Outside, the patrol skiff that had crashed into the dock sat motionless. Crew inside, unconscious but unharmed. Their scanners sparked, systems fried. "She did that," Lisanne murmured. "She stopped them without hurting them." Ryland's throat tightened. "Kid just saved us all." Nira reached for him, small fingers touching his scarred hand. Images flickered across his mind. His lost rescue team, the storm that took them, the faces he could never forget. But this time, the memories didn't burn. They softened. "She's showing you she understands," Lisanne said quietly. "What pain costs, what mercy is." Kaelra lowered her weapon. "Then she's more human than the people who made her." Ryland smiled faintly. "Guess that makes us a family of bad decisions." Lisanne let out a shaky laugh for the first time all night. The hours that followed were slow, calm, almost sacred. They cleaned the room together, sealed the window, fixed what could be saved. Nira curled up near the furnace, finally asleep without fear. When the rain started again, it wasn't angry. Just steady, forgiving. Kaelra watched Ryland from the corner of her eye. "You could turn us in, you know." "Claim the bounty," he shrugged. "Never been good at selling the people I care about." Lisanne stepped closer, her voice soft. "So, what now?" Ryland looked around the small workshop, burned walls, repaired dreams, a child who glowed when she breathed. "Now," he said, "we build something that lasts." Outside, Varela Key glimmered beneath the stormlight. Inside, warmth spread through the little home like a new sunrise. For the first time in years, Ryland Creed wasn't fixing broken things. He was part of something whole. They called her an experiment. They called him broken. But together, they became proof that even in a galaxy full of cold machinery, the smallest act of kindness can rewrite everything. Outside, the rain finally stopped. Inside, the girl who once begged not to be taken back had found somewhere worth staying. And Ryland Creed, the man who fixed engines, not people, finally built something no storm could ever tear apart.